This is Breakfast Daily, and time now to zoom into some pressing concerns in Ghana. You know, over the weeks, we've been talking about the Akosombo Dam spillage. It looks like this story or this news is not going anywhere because every day we get to discover other areas where the devastation is quite dire, and these people need our attention as well. Now, I have here with me Elvis Dako is here, editor for The Finder at newscenter.com. Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning.
I have missed you too.
Oh, we didn't miss you.
Oh, don't worry, I have missed you
because
too.
We didn't want you to come. We wanted more time.
Don't worry.
We don't want people who put restriction on our time.
Don't worry.
We wanted you to spend the rest of the year to the end. Then
It's not late.
In January.
It's not late.
So
you can do joint petition.
We have submitted our petition already.
Oh, otherwise sometimes they didn't
so
get
that at the end of the year, so that January you can come.
You can help me. No problem. And I have here with me Larry Dogby. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Of the Herald newspaper. You know, there was something you wrote that we should look out for in the paper, and I said, yeah, Larry.
Yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
Okay, we talked about the buffer stock.
Yes. Yeah. I said, Larry, no. Every day there's something. But good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I got your memo.
Okay. Which part of it?
Don't worry.
Now, why?
Which one?
Yeah?
Which one?
But you were in South Africa.
Yeah.
What event was that?
Oh, you know, the South Africa, we just went to look at how some people have been able to use agriculture, you know, to develop their country and come propagate the good news. You understand? So it wasn't a drinking spree.
Which aspect of agriculture did you go to look at? The
vineyards. The fact that they have arable lands and they are optimizing, you know, what they have. They are, I mean, it cuts across. I mean, for me, I thought this was something for agric ministry, for trade ministry, for tourism ministry, because this is just about some people, you know, going onto the farms, families doing that and all. So really,
is this something we can replicate here?
I don't see why not, you know, because I think that now South Africa is really beginning to get into the chocolate industry. You know, and this is where partnership between South Africa and Ghana comes in. Look at all the cocoa that we are producing. And chocolates has huge market in South Africa because now they are doing the wines and chocolate thing. You know, I think in July, there was an exhibition here in Ghana, an event organized by Wines of South Africa, you know, in partnership with some of our chocolatiers here. So I think that, yes, if you really want to do this, I shame you. Now let's go to Akosombo Dam spillage. You know, when you visit the Citi newsroom, there's a story put together by Bevelin London. Akosombo Dam spillage. We are finding quickest ways to resume academic work in affected areas. This is the government speaking. Now, the story in detail says the Ministry of Education has assured that it is working quickly to ensure that students affected by the spillage of the Akosombo Dam resume academic activities. Led by the Deputy Minister of Education, the ministry toured the affected areas to assess the disruption caused to the education sector by the dam spillage. In the North Tongue District, the Ghana Education Service reviewed that over 14,000 students have had their academics disrupted. Now, when it comes down, there's a quote here. It says, "We are in a hurry to ensure that the distress situation that our friends and compatriots in the Volta region are facing is turned around into a story that will be remembered tomorrow as a negative thing, occasioning a positive turnaround," he said. And so we are with our people in such time. Education is one area that is the hardest hit when such disasters occur. So the minister is poised to ensure that education does not suffer. I'll start with you, Larry. So this is where we are. I mean, we've all followed the fallout of the Akosombo Dam spillage. Now, unfortunately, a lot of school children are also displaced. They can't go to school. In fact, some of these schools have become holding areas and shelters for displaced victims.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I mean, we described the situation as a disaster, and we all saw the amount of water that had taken over a lot of space as far as some of these communities were concerned, to a point where the classrooms became places of refuge for many, and it's still what it is as we speak. I think that something has to be done going forward. I'm happy to hear that the water is receding or has receded considerably
in certain areas.
In certain areas. And also, VRA has stopped the spillage. Good news. But I'm told, or I learned that the Bagri Dam is coming. Should we wait till, the dam become full again, and then we have to spill unannounced, and then all the catastrophe that is recorded? I think something has to be done. Quickly, we should look out for places which are on a higher ground and talk to the people about it. If they could move there such that over time, when all is clear, then they can return to their homes. We should do a thing like that. Now, for the schools, I don't know what plans Ministry of Education has to, let's say, get the time that had, been blown away to get a student to catch up.
Yeah.
So something quickly has to be done. I would want to see the interministerial committee, and then somewhere, because I haven't heard anything aside the press conferences that VRA has been doing under the auspices of the Ministry of Information. If you are captured as part of an interministerial group, it means that you pay regular visit to such places. It also means that you update the country regularly. That is what a task force is supposed to do. It's not just something on paper, just to, let's say, get the people to believe that there's something coming when there's nothing coming. Okay, and I'm saying this with observation that you have almost everybody going to Mepe.
Yeah.
But the thing goes beyond Mepe.
By far.
By far. I was listening to Richard Sky's documentary yesterday where he's gone to Anyako and then Agbozume and all that. I've been there in July. Okay, I have some cousins of mine from Anyako and all that. And the water situation there was quite massive.
Yeah.
The road leading to Seva had, practically been cut off. At a certain part of the day, the water flows across the road.
Yeah.
Across the road.
They're cut off completely.
Yes, you can't even see the road in certain instances. The economic activities are gone. Anyako is, buried in water.
In the next 2-3 years, if you say you come from Anyako, you can't visit any physical place.
Yes, it will become like Voja, Keji, all that, those other places and so on. I don't know what we are waiting for. See, Anyako's situation is so bad that even cemeteries have been taken over by water. And so these days they bury at the outskirts. But even that, the kind of water, you have to cross before you get to some of those cemeteries.
With a coffin.
Yeah, with a coffin and all that. So something has to be done. As I'm saying, we can't limit ourselves to Mepe. Mepe is becoming the place of whatever because then it's closer to Accra.
And it's also because their MP is also very forthcoming, leading the people. So it looks like there's some form of leadership, in that area, bringing attention to them. Could that be the...
No, I think that could also be one of the reasons. However, the people making the donations, we have said time and again that the thing goes beyond, what is happening in North Tong, South Tong and all that, to other places. Adan is also part of it. I hear.
Yeah.
Okay, and so many other places. But if we had this interministerial group working, a reference point, a coordinate, a place where all this is coordinated, I'm sure Citi would have gone to all those other places and say that, hey, we have heard about you, so we are here.
There are places that we visited that looks like we are the first people to get there.
You get
because
it.
Our reporters are all the time combing around.
So you have a situation where Mepe will get so much, and other towns wouldn't get anything.
Right.
We need to look sharp.
Elvis, let me come to you. When I was watching CNR and The Point of View last night, looking at the pictures, the videos, I kept asking myself, but as for this one, what can we do? Because it looks like the water is endless. The whole place is flooded.
And the town?
Anyako and the Konu areas and all these. I kept asking myself, even schools have been taken over by water, hospitals, I don't know where we will start from. Education Ministry is saying that they are finding the quickest way to get, quite honestly, I don't know. They have to tell us what's going to happen. This is very, very worrying. Your thoughts?
This is the problem we have as a country. We talk too much, we do very little. Talk too much, but we do very little. Now we are being told that the heaviest of this kind of thing happened in 1966 in Mepe. It has happened before. 1966, 2023. And it's a repeat, and we have no answers. So it tells you that, we talk plenty, but the real action that needs to happen so that future occurrences do not affect us this much. We as a country really do very little about implementation, do very little about strategy, do very little about planning. All we need is to talk. But the moment this water recedes and people return to their homes, it is business as usual. See, we really haven't started as a country to look at our needs. We really haven't looked at. I think before this, when the tidal waves happened, myself and Larry and David were discussing that what do we do to these communities? Even before this flood, this one, we say, is it possible to say, as a country, we come to a conclusion that though this is their whole ancestral homelands, it's not safe for them to be there, and therefore we'll be looking for other places, look for land, resettle these people in other places that they will be safe. We were discussing some of this. We didn't even know that this Volta Lake issue is coming. With that time, we were talking about the tidal waves and how communities are suffering. The Anyako and all those, when you go there, as Larry said, I saw back June that he went there. When you go to those communities, they are like mushy. You even cross water to go to people's homes.
Apparently, they've been living in water for like 5 months already.
And this stuff, it's like something that has been, it's like that's how the community is. It's full of water. So there are homes you have to go to. You have to even use a boat to cross before you go to somebody's home. It's something they've lived with. But now they are taken by events because the levels have risen so high. So the question is, what have we been doing all these years as a people? These are the things that tells you that we are not thinking and we are not planning. We only sleep, dream that when we wake up the following morning, Ghana will become a different country. That is who we have become as a people. We are not really taking the actions that show that we are on the path of transformation. We only dream that Ghana should look like Dubai or Malaysia or Singapore. That's what we dream about. And then we think that one day we wake up and Ghana will be like, it will never happen. It will take a lot of hard work. In Japan, when they realized that the Kobe area is full, there's no way they can avoid earthquakes, the government took a decision. Nobody builds any concrete or any house there. The entire house was designed with paper. They put in engineers to develop paper houses that people can build and live in. That when there's an earthquake, things don't fall on people to die. So if you go to Kobe in Japan right now, all the houses there, if you look at it from outside, you will never know that these houses are built with paper. But then every house there is built with paper because they have realized that there's nothing we can do about it. We can't relocate them, but we don't even have the space to move the people to. But there is a way we can reduce casualty rates when there is an earthquake. That is to build with materials that when it falls on the people,
the lighter materials.
The lighter material. So you see, there's a way we can do some of these things. What are we doing? Even if we can't move the people from their ancestral homes, in Zulenzu, people have been living on water for how many decades? They are still there. Have we learned anything from that community to say, if these people have been living in this kind of houses for decades, and they still go about their daily activities, this is their ancestral home, this is where they want to live, and they have found their traditional way of living there, what improvement have we brought there? Do you know that if we are using Zulenzu as an example and as an experiment, to say, how do we get people to build good houses on this water? And that they can still live here and live in a settlement that even if you are not familiar with the area, you will not even know that they are living on water. We are told that if you go to places like Netherlands, if If they don't tell you the whole city is built on water, you wouldn't know.
But in Dubai that we visit, Atlantis and all these big hotels are in water, middle of water.
Until they you know that. So it tells you that once others have been thinking, we think that everything should remain the same. Else by now, Nzulezu should be a model community, and then we can now be replicating that what we have done at Nzulezu that is sustainable now. All the communities that find themselves in some of this, then we should now take a national decision that buildings in those communities should be done in this manner that in the event that even there is flooding, the people can still have a source of living. Or we look at the highlands surrounding the place, the safe havens that we say we have moved the people to now. It means that those places at least are safer than their own home. Is there a way to say we want to rather look at a way of developing the safer places for these people to live? I said it when Nkrumah did the dam. There were 52 communities that were submerged by the water. Nkrumah knew that this would need to leave. So he has gone to acquire lands in the nearby areas where the water cannot take the people and decided to do what we call resettlement communities for all the 52. He started the project and he was overthrown. You see, that's the purpose for setting up the VRA Resettlement Fund. That money is supposed to be used to rebuild all those communities that were submerged for the building of the dam so that the people can have a living. That fund has been there up to today. But the communities were never built. The moment Nkrumah was overthrown, that was the end of the policy. It is the reason that the people have actually moved back to places they are not supposed to move to. Because the plan by the government that we are moving to higher lands and we are building for you so that you don't return here was thrown away the moment Nkrumah was overthrown. You know, so the people now realize, okay, we are stranded. So we have nothing to do. So let's go back to the place where the water recedes.
My worry and my concern really is beyond the dam spillage. We've had, like you mentioned, with the tidal waves, we've had practical situations which should have informed us to do better. I mean, we've had children crossing, school children crossing Volta Lake, they are both capsized, they died. We've had children from Weja Dam spillage, they died. We have Bagre Dam. So, these are not natural, these are not accidents, these are not nature, something we just wake up and we see. Exactly.
And we are taking the right steps. If we're a serious nation, we would not be here talking about this today because we would have known that the topography of these communities has exposed them to flooding anytime there's a problem. In fact, aside, we are blaming VRA because when they spilled the water, the levels rose faster. But the truth of the matter is that all those communities were experiencing a certain level of flooding already from the natural rise of the water itself without spillage. There were almost a lot of the communities, the water has actually entered people's houses already. But this is something that they have experienced that, within a month or two, it will go back. But because the spillage has increased the volumes astronomically, now it has affected people to a certain level. That's why now we are all talking about. So you see, truth of the matter is that as a country, we're really not taking time to say, in terms of physical development, area by area, what are their needs and how do you go about it? Accra, we said it's not properly planned, right? We also want a better Ghana. Get to all the new communities surrounding Accra. They are worse off than the central Accra. Kwabinya, Ifa, Ashama, Lebanon. Go to all the places around Great Accra. All the new settlements that we should rather build properly. There should be roads. There should be gutters.
So who is checking what?
This is the issue. So you see, we are sitting down and we are talking. If somebody sits in an assembly.
And the duty bearers join us to talk.
Yes. And we are paying them with taxpayers' money. But nobody gets fired for not doing his work. Nobody gets fired for not doing his work. So if we are not firing people, why can somebody be in assembly as a planning officer? And people are built in places that they are not supposed to build. They have no permit. The person will sit down for this people to build all the way and roof and live in it. Yet you still get salary as a planning officer at assembly. No reports, nothing.
Anyway.
So we must understand that as a country, if we don't take steps, we will not go anywhere.
Quickly, so that we go to
I would like to ask about, we need to, all this discussion shouldn't be bereft of any sensitization on global
warming,
and then climate change for that matter. And that all what is happening is because of that. And so we can't just go to Glasgow with a huge number of people, some who return, others who have gone missing since then, but they've not been declared wanted, So we can't do that. We need to talk about some of these things. I mean, the president takes our money every now and then, Minister for Science and Technology, they're out there going from one program or the other, and so on. And I mean, all that they went to discuss, unless, of course, they went to sleep.
You know, quite honestly, sometimes I feel we should stop everybody from traveling, all these government appointees, so that all the travelings you've done all these years, let's start putting them to work.
They only go there to sleep.
Because what is going on? And they visit the best of the places.
Yeah. Why are they asking? We said we should be building climate resilient structures.
Yes.
If we are to build them, these are the communities we should think about. Look at today. Today is 31st of October. Early this month, there's heavy rains. When we were young, you will not see these heavy rains around it. So clearly it tells you that climate change, whether we like it or not, whether I want to believe it or not, it's here with us.
Anyway,
you know, we should be able to, I mean, aside, the politicians should try as much as possible to engage technocrats and scientists in their dealings. You get it? Because these are people who are very practical, you know, oriented. And they will be able to carry whatever information there is. But if you take a politician, he's gone to his constituency. He speaks his constituency chairman, constituency secretary, constituency women organizer, and so on. And, you know, taking him all the way to Glasgow, all the UN climate change. They don't understand Jack. They don't understand Jack. Oh, me too, Quine. They don't understand anything. And so then we are where we are.
So,
but has the Minister for Energy visited the area?
Napo?
Yes.
Yes. I think when the president delegation was there.
Okay.
And even the deputy too was there.
Okay, because I've heard the you know, VRA, it appears VRA is always the one talking.
No, he was there. In fact, they gave VRA the 5,000 solar lamps to distribute to the people, the Minister of Energy.
Okay.
So the minister was there, the deputy, Ejapa Mesa also was there.
So beyond being there,
but see,
let's see the work.
This is the issue. We'll go with all the delegations.
Solve anything.
The moment the water receipts and people return to their home, we are back to business as usual.
We had the minister of housing visit the tidal waves when it happened. What has happened? You know, all the promises that we were given. Really, what has happened? Look, Jivango Machi should be very tired talking about all the time, kind of about tidal waves.
Are we being practical about the solutions? That's the issue. Are we being practical?